Hello and welcome back to Global English Podcast, the place where we break down English for you. I'm your host, Jordan.
And I'm Taylor. Good to see you, everyone.
We are ready for another massive deep dive, and today we are talking about money.
Ah, the big one.
The big one. And honestly, I feel like I need this section more than anyone. I was looking at my bank account this morning,
Oh, no.
and I realized my money out list for this month had, I'm not kidding, about 40 different entries for coffee.
40. Wow.
And, little snacks from the corner shop. It's that feeling, isn't it, when all those tiny little purchases suddenly add up to a number that is, well, it's genuinely shocking.
It absolutely is. And that feeling, that really common struggle, is exactly why we need to talk about this.
Yeah.
Money impacts every single one of us every day. But trying to talk about your personal finances in English, especially when you need to be precise, can feel, well, it can feel really intimidating.
Totally.
We want to try and take that fear away today.
We really do.
Yeah.
Because English loves to throw confusing idioms and, very specific words at you when it comes to money.
For sure.
So just to get us started, here's a little pop quiz for later. A little teaser to keep you hooked. We're going to find out the really subtle but super important difference between calling someone a penny pincher and calling them frugal.
Ooh, that's a good one.
One is a compliment and the other one is definitely not.
In another teaser, later in our deep dive, we'll reveal when the word millionaire was first used in English. It's such a modern word for wealth, but its origin is actually a lot more recent than you'd probably guess.
That's a great hook. Okay, so let's lay out our mission for today. We have gone through a huge stack of sources, everything from, basic guides on how to save money, all the way to formal documents on financial planning.
And our goal today isn't just to teach you the word money.
Right.
We want you to walk away from this feeling confident enough to talk about your daily spending, your big long-term saving goals, and even some of the more technical stuff like banking and investing.
We're breaking it all down, from the simplest words to the most complex ideas.
Exactly. It's about giving you that feeling of control, both over the language and, hopefully, over your life. It's incredibly empowering.
It really is. Okay, so before we dive in, one very quick thing for you, the listener.
Yes.
Please, right now, just take 1 second to subscribe to Global English Podcast and like this deep dive. It truly helps us keep making this content for you, and it means you won't miss anything.
Okay, let's start at the very beginning. The absolute fundamental.
The building blocks.
Yes. We need to establish the core actions of money management. We're talking about 3 key words: spend, save, and the plan that connects them: budget.
Okay, and even with those 3, I feel like, I know, I get confused. Like, what is the actual difference between the verb spend and that formal, kind of scary noun expenditure?
That is a fantastic question. You've immediately hit on a really important distinction between, casual English and more formal B1 level English.
Right.
So let's dissect the verb spend first. In plain English, spend means to give money in exchange for something. It's the action.
I spend $5 on a coffee.
Exactly. Now, expenditure, the noun, is different. It refers to the total amount of money spent, usually over a specific time period.
So, it's a summary.
In a way, yes. It's a word you'll see on, an official report or a company's financial statement. The company's expenditure on travel this year was...
Okay. So I spend money on a concert ticket, but my total expenditure on entertainment for the whole year was $500.
You've got it. One is the individual action, the other is the total category. The context is everything.
Let's do some examples to really lock that in.
Let's do it. We'll do 5 distinct examples for the word spend. First, a formal one.
Okay.
The board decided to spend a significant portion of the quarter's profits, formally allocating capital towards infrastructure improvements.
Very serious. Allocating capital sounds so much more official than just spending money.
It is. Now, for a casual one, did you see Maria's new coat? She really splashed the cash on that designer piece last weekend.
Flash the cash. I love that. It sounds so extravagant.
It's a great casual idiom. Now, a funny or weird one, I didn't realize I could spend 5 hours arguing about the best way to load a dishwasher, but here we are.
Ah, so you can spend time too, not just money. That's
Yeah.
a key point for learners.
A very key point. Okay, a historical example. In ancient Rome, emperors would spend enormous sums of money on public games to keep the people happy.
Spending for political reasons.
Exactly. And finally, a philosophical one. Many experts believe it's important to spend money not just on things, but strategically on experiences that create lasting memories.
I really like that one. It connects spending to your actual values.
It does. Now, should we try a quick role play to show how it works in a real conversation?
Yes, let's do it. You start.
Hey, you look a bit stressed. Did you spend too much on those little impulse buys again?
Oh, I really did. I saw this limited edition jacket and I couldn't resist. I definitely splashed the cash on it.
Oh no, that thing costs a fortune. Did you really blow your whole budget for the week?
Pretty much. I told myself I deserved it, but now I've spent my food money for the next 2 weeks. I really should have waited.
Well, next time, just remember how those little costs add up. You have to be mindful when you spend.
Okay, that was perfect. Now, what about collocations? You know, the words that often go together with spend.
Right. 5 essential ones. First, spending habit.
My coffee habit.
Exactly. It's the regular, almost unconscious way you use money. Second, spend time. We already mentioned this, but it's crucial. I need to stop spending time on my phone.
Guilty.
Third, overspend. This
Mhm.
means to spend more than you planned or can afford. I always overspend when I use my credit card.
It feels like it's not real money, doesn't it?
It does. Fourth, spend wisely. To use your money in a smart, thoughtful way. And fifth, expendable cash. This is the money you can afford to spend on non-essentials, on your wants.
Okay, that's a really solid foundation for spend. Let's flip it. Let's talk about the positive action. Save.
Yes. So, to save is simply to keep your money instead of spending it.
And this brings me back to another one of my questions. Is it better to say, I saved the money, or is it more natural to use the phrasal verb, I saved up for?
That is such a good question because the difference really signals fluency.
Ah,
While you can say, I saved money, it's very general. When you have a specific goal in mind, saying you save up for something is much more common and natural. It shows purpose.
so I save up for a new car, but I just save money in general.
You've got it. Save up for highlights the long journey towards a specific goal. Let's run through 5 examples for save and save up for.
Let's do it.
Okay, a formal one first. The company decided to implement austerity measures to save on operational costs.
Very corporate.
Now, a casual one using up for. I'm trying to save up for a new laptop. My current one is so slow.
That's me. That's literally my life right now.
Yeah.
Clear, goal-oriented.
Now, a funny one, not about money. I managed to save myself from a really awkward conversation by pretending my phone was ringing.
So save as in rescue.
Exactly. Now, a historical and idiomatic one. My grandmother always told me to save money for a rainy day.
A classic. What does that actually mean, a rainy day?
It means saving for a time when you might need money unexpectedly. For an emergency, like if your car breaks down or you lose your job.
The metaphorical storm.
Precisely. And finally, a philosophical take. For many people, the act of saving isn't about buying things. It's about saving for financial freedom and security.
That's a huge mindset shift. You're not restricting yourself. You're buying your own freedom.
You are. Let's do a quick role play using save up for and the idea of a rainy day.
Okay, I'll start this time. Hey, how come you always bring your lunch from home? You never come out with us for tacos.
Well, I'm trying to save up for a big trip to Peru next year. Every little bit helps, even that $15 lunch.
Wow, that's impressive discipline. But what happens if, your washing machine breaks or something?
That's why I have a separate emergency fund. Money I've saved specifically for a rainy day, it keeps my travel fund safe.
That is so smart. I need to get better at planning for that rainy day,
Yeah.
or I'll end up having to borrow money.
That's the key. Okay, 5 quick collocations for save.
Go for it.
1, saving goal. The specific thing you're saving for. 2, save money, time, effort. It's a versatile verb.
Right.
3, savings account. the special bank account just for saving. 4, save a bundle. An idiom meaning you saved a lot of money. I bought my tickets early and saved a bundle.
I like that one.
A bundle. And 5, set money aside. It's a slightly more formal way to say save. You should set money aside for taxes each month.
Okay, so we've covered the two main actions, spending and saving. Now we need the tool that connects them.
The plan. The budget.
The dreaded B word.
It really is for so many people. The word budget sounds so restrictive, like financial jail.
Totally. Like someone telling you no all the time.
But one of the sources had this great analogy. It said you should think of your budget as a map for your money.
Oh, I like that. A map.
Doesn't that sound less scary? It's not a jail, it's a guide.
Yeah. It's a GPS for your finances. Without a map, you're just lost. You get to the end of the month, look at your account and think, where did it all go?
Exactly. That feeling of uncertainty is what causes the stress. A budget, even a really simple one, gives you that feeling of control.
And it's really just about tracking two things, right? Money in.
Your salary, your income.
And money out.
Your rent, your food, your bills, all your expenses.
If you just write those two columns down in a notebook, you have a budget. It's not that complicated.
It isn't. And to make the concept even clearer, let's compare it to something similar. How is a budget different from a goal?
Ooh, good question.
A goal is the destination.
The vacation, being debt-free.
Exactly. The budget is the map. It's the turn-by-turn directions that get you to that destination. You need both. A goal without a budget is just a dream.
The budget is where your priorities become real. Okay, let's dissect the word itself. Is budget always about money? Could I, for example, budget my time?
Yes. You are hitting on a key point for fluency here. The noun budget is almost always a financial plan.
Right.
But the verb to budget is more flexible. We absolutely use it for other resources. We say things like, I need to budget my energy this week. I'm exhausted.
That's really useful. Let's do the 5 examples for budget to show that range.
Okay. First, a big, formal one. The government unveiled its new national budget, announcing major expenditures in public transport.
That's the noun, the big official plan.
Right. Now, a casual household noun. We're on a really tight budget this month because the car needed repairs.
The everyday use. I know that one well.
Now for the funny, figurative use of the verb. I need to budget my social media time, or I'll never get any work done.
Also me.
A historical one. The creation of annual national budgets in the 18th century was a huge step towards holding governments accountable for public money.
Wow, I never thought about that.
And a philosophical one. If you look at someone's budget, you're seeing a practical map of their personal values. It shows what they truly prioritize.
That's deep. Your budget doesn't lie.
Okay, let's do an extended role play. Let's say we're planning a weekend trip, and we have to set a tight budget.
Sounds good. I'll start. Okay, I really want to get away this weekend, but we absolutely have to set a tight budget. I don't want to overspend.
I agree. I've only got about $200 of expendable cash this month. What's the absolute maximum we can budget for the trip?
Let's say $300 for everything. Gas, a cheap place to stay, and food. We'll have to budget very carefully for food. No fancy restaurants.
Right. So we budget for groceries and maybe one cheap pizza night. I'll make a list, and I promise I will stick to the budget.
That's the most important part. If we can manage the budget well this weekend, maybe we'll have a little left over to put in savings.
Perfect. It's a test of our discipline.
It is. Okay,
Yeah.
Now for the 5 key collocations with budget.
Relay them on me.
1, tight budget, we just used it. A small, restrictive amount of money.
2, stick to a budget. This means to successfully follow your plan.
The discipline part.
Yes. 3, manage a budget. This is the ongoing process of controlling and adjusting the plan. 4, budget cuts. This is a more formal one when a government or company reduces its planned spending.
Right.
And 5, household budget. The financial plan for a family or the people you live with.
It's interesting how many of those imply action, like stick to or manage. A budget is useless if you just write it down and ignore it.
It's a living document. You have to work with it.
Okay, so this brings us to the core principle behind all of this, the decision-making process.
Exactly. The fundamental distinction between necessary and unnecessary spending, we're talking about needs versus wants.
This sounds so simple on the surface, but I know so many people who get tripped up by this. I get tripped up by this, like my coffee habit. At what point does it stop being a need and become a want? The line gets blurry.
It really does, especially when a want becomes a habit. But let's define them clearly. A need is something essential for your survival and basic functioning.
Food, water, a place to live, basic clothes.
Exactly. A want is something that improves your life or that you enjoy, but it is not strictly necessary for survival.
The fancy coffee, the new phone, dinner at a restaurant.
Right. And our sources had a great analogy for this.
A house analogy. I loved this.
Think of your needs as the foundation of a house.
The walls, the roof, the electricity.
The things you absolutely must have for the house to be safe and functional. Your wants are the decorations.
The nice paint, the big TV, the fancy sofa.
Exactly. And you have to build the foundation first. The decorations are useless if the roof is leaking.
That makes it so clear. You have to secure your needs before you can even think about spending on wants.
Let's use a real-world example. You need to buy groceries to cook at home. That's a need.
But you want to eat out at a fancy restaurant 3 times a week.
That's a want. You need a functional phone for work and safety.
But you want the brand new, top-of-the-line model with the best camera.
It's the difference between function and luxury. The goal here is just to get you to pause before you buy something and ask that simple question. Is this a need or is this a want? That pause is where you gain control.
And once you have that control, you can start using some practical strategies to save money.
Yes, like the one many of our sources mentioned, the 24-hour rule.
Before we get to the rule, can we define impulse buying? What is it exactly?
Impulse buying is when you buy something too quickly without thinking it through. It's usually driven by emotion.
Like seeing candy at the checkout and just grabbing it.
That's the classic example. You see it, you get a sudden desire for it, and you buy it on impulse. There's no logical thought process.
So the 24-hour rule is designed to fight that emotion.
Perfectly put. It's a strategy to let that initial wave of excitement and emotion disappear. The rule is simple. If you see something you want, especially if it's expensive,
You don't buy it.
you don't buy it, you go home, you wait 24 hours.
You sleep on it.
And what you'll find is that most of the time, that intense desire is gone the next day. Logic returns, and you realize you don't actually need it.
That is so smart. It forces you to switch from your emotional brain to your logical brain.
Let's run a quick scenario. You see a new pair of expensive headphones. They're $300. What do?
Okay, so I see them. I pick up the box. I'm excited. I walk towards the checkout. But then I remember the rule.
So you stop.
I stop. I put the box back on the shelf and I walk out of the store. I go home. For the first couple hours, I'm probably still thinking about them.
You might even look up reviews online trying to justify the purchase.
But I wait. And when I wake up the next morning, the magic is gone. I realize my current headphones work perfectly fine. It's a want, not a need.
And you realize that spending $300 would mean you can't put money into your savings this month.
So I decide not to buy them. And then, the best part, I open my banking app and I transfer that $300 I almost spent directly into my savings account.
And that feeling of making a smart choice is so much better than the temporary excitement of the new headphones.
Absolutely. Okay, let's build on this with some more vocabulary related to smart saving. What's the difference between a discount and a sale?
They're very similar, but there's a slight difference. A sale is usually a store-wide event for a period of time.
Like a summer sale or a Black Friday sale?
Exactly. A discount is often a more specific price reduction. It could be a coupon for one item or a discount for a specific group, like a student discount.
Got it. Let's do the 5 examples for these.
Okay. 1, formal. The government is offering a tax discount to businesses that invest in renewable energy.
So a discount can be from the government, not just a store.
Yes. 2, Casual. You should wait until the end of the season. They're having a huge sale and everything will be 50% off.
The classic advice.
3. Funny weird. The only discount I ever get is on bruised apples at the grocery store.
Huh. I feel that.
4. Historical. The idea of a clearance sale became really popular during the Industrial Revolution as a way for factories to get rid of unsold products.
Interesting.
And 5. Philosophical. The constant cycle of sales and discounts is a clever trick. It makes you feel like you're saving money when you're actually spending it.
That is a very dangerous psychological trap. What about some collocations?
Okay. Deep discount. That means a very big price reduction, like 70% off. Seasonal sale, clearance sale. That's when they're selling the very last item.
To clear the shelves.
Exactly. Offer a discount. In sale price, the reduced price you pay.
Okay, this leads to probably the most important verb in personal finance. Afford.
This is the one. Can you afford it? It's the question that connects your income to your desires.
Let's do the 5 examples for afford.
1. Formal. Given the current budget, the company cannot afford to take on any new projects this quarter.
So it's about capability.
Precisely. 2. Casual. I'd love to buy that new video game, but I just can't afford it right now. I need to save up.
The reality of budgeting.
3. Funny. I can't afford to lose another pair of socks in the laundry. I'm down to my last matching pair.
I use it like that all the time. I can't afford to be late.
Yes, it's very versatile. 4. Historical. Before modern credit, most families could barely afford basic necessities, living from one payday to the next.
Oh, tough reality.
And 5. Philosophical. True financial freedom isn't being able to afford luxury cars, but being able to afford peace of mind.
That's powerful. One of our sources had a great question. Is there anything you'd like to buy that you can't afford? It's such a simple but deep question.
It really is. Let's use that in a little scenario.
Okay, so do you think I can afford that around the world trip I'm always talking about?
Well, based on your current income and your monthly expenditure, I think you could barely afford it if you saved for the next 5 years.
Only barely.
It would be a huge stretch. You certainly can't afford to do it next year without going into serious debt.
You're right. Sometimes just saying I can't afford it right now is the most empowering thing you can do.
It is. So 5 collocations for afford. Can afford, can't afford, barely afford.
Meaning it's possible but very difficult.
Yes. Affordable price, meaning a reasonable price. And afford to lose, which we use when talking about risk. Don't invest money you can't afford to lose.
That's critical advice. Okay, and just to wrap this section up, let's touch on the saving goal again. Why is that such a powerful concept?
Because a saving goal provides motivation. It turns saving from a boring chore into an exciting mission.
Right.
If you're just saving money, it's easy to spend it. But if you're saving for a trip to Japan, it's much easier to say no to that expensive coffee because you can see the reward.
It makes the future reward feel more real than the immediate temptation.